We are exactly 26 hours away, 22 hours away from
I think on when you're
25.
viewing or listening to this podcast, but we're close enough.
We're close enough to the game, and I am excited. Dustin, listen, I'm a little jealous.
Listening.
I'm a little jealous. I've played in the Orange Bowl, I played in the Fiesta Bowl, I've played in the Sugar Bowl, but I never got the opportunity to play in the Rose Bowl. And everybody talks about just how beautiful it is, the scenery. It's obviously a legendary place for Ohio State. And I'm jealous that I didn't get a chance to, but you did.
But it wasn't the actual Rose Bowl. We played in the stadium. My freshman year in 2001, we played UCLA, and it was a road game for us. So it was early in the year, and we were out there in Pasadena. And we got a chance to play there. We went out a day early because it was like, in college, the only time we ever went to the West Coast was during bowl season, but this was not a bowl game. This was a regular season game. So we went out like an extra day and a half early. It was cool, man. Like we got a chance to go there and have a cool walkthrough and tour the stadium and things like that. And I'll never forget too. I don't know why he was there, but the character, the actor that played Al Bundy, Ed O'Neill.
No,
you do. It's Al Bundy, dude.
I have to look it up. What's his name?
I mean, he's the dad from Modern Family, dude. Ed O'Neill.
Oh yeah.
You know who Ed O'Neill is. Anyways,
I got you.
He actually, I think he played college football. But anyway, he was there for some reason. We met him. He came to our walkthrough, and that was one of the cool experiences. I'll never forget that too. But we won that game. It wasn't a great game by us. We weren't a good team my freshman year, but that was a hell of a UCLA team too. Deshaun Foster was their running back.
Oh wow, how times fly. Now he's the coach. Well, I didn't, like I said, I got a chance to. I went to the Rose Bowl because I did the Big Ten tailgate show, but I didn't go in it. Like we was at UCLA, but I didn't go in it. We did the show from in front of the Rose Bowl, and it was just nice seeing like the setup and all of those things. And I was just jealous, like, man, out of all the games, like I've won a national championship and all those things, but like I wanted to play in that Rose Bowl. So I'm excited for these guys. Is there any doubt in your mind?
Is there any doubt in my mind? What about winning the game?
Yeah, is there any doubt?
Yeah, of course there's doubt. I mean,
because the
spread's 2 points.
Well, the last time we talked and we did Tennessee, I told you there's not a doubt in my mind. There's no way. I don't see it. I said I didn't see it. Obviously, I can't say that, with this Oregon team. I think that the way that this season is unfolded for the Buckeyes, this is a perfect matchup for them because of the fact that they're coming in with the chip on their shoulder. The fact that they lost the last time that they played, obviously, it's going to be a lot of hostility there, and it's going to be a lot of aggression and things like that. So I think that favors them. But this is the thing. Like back in the day, we would say Oregon was a finesse team or a speed team, trickery type team. Yeah. Over the last couple of years, they've gotten really physical. And that part to me evens out. And it's funny because coming into this game, the one thing that I want to pay attention to is I need to see our offensive line and our defensive line against their O-line and their D-line. Reason I say our offensive line is because when you think about Oregon right now and on their D-line, obviously the last time we played them, Jordan Birch didn't play. Mateo Uyunglele did. And that Derek, what's his name? Derek Harmon or something like that. Whatever they defensive tackle was, dude was causing havoc. So to me, that dude that was playing that D tackle that was causing that havoc, he was doing that down the middle where Donovan Jackson was at guard, and we had a Seth McLaughlin and those things. Now that this offensive line has got rearranged a little bit, I know they look very good against Tennessee. And Tennessee had two good edge rushers that we heard nothing from the entire game. So I was so proud of the offensive line for that. But we need that same type of performance from them this game, because I think a lot of people talk about passing the ball, and I get that. But I do think that we need Quinshon and Travion to have a big game. Like, to me, those are the X factors, is the running back. I think if you control, because I think Oregon can score really fast, And I think they're like a high-powered offense. So what do? You limit their touches. You limit the time that they have it. And I think if we can run the ball successfully like we did against the Tennessee, I think that helps us win this game by flying colors.
Yeah, it's interesting because we've already played this team once. And so you've got the common opponent. It's you played each other. You know what I mean? It's always tough, they say, to beat somebody twice in a season. Never dealt with that in college.
No.
And the pros, yeah, pros are different breed. But look, I think it's going to be a challenge. There's no question about that. The one positive I think that Ohio State has for them going into this game is that they played a game. You know, Oregon has been sitting around for a minute, you know, since they won their championship, the Big Ten championship game. Ohio State's played. And so, yeah, they got the bye week, but now they got to face the Ohio State team that comes in, I think, uber confident, especially in their offense after what they did against the Tennessee Volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we watched Michigan beat Ohio State because Ohio State just kind of decided to play into their hands, you know, and into their defense, and sort of saw some of that today too. I mean, Michigan's defense is real. It's a real defense, and you know, if you decide to try and attack it with the run, very similar to the way Alabama tried today and was also not successful. They were not successful. So look, Ohio State's going to be flying high. They got a lot of confidence. They, in 20-degree temperatures, went out and made it look like they were playing in the Bahamas. You know what I mean? They made it look easy. So why not go out here against the Oregon Ducks and have that confidence and continue to put it on display with Will Howard and his arm? And, you know, hopefully he's feeling good about himself and very healthy. And, you know, your two top wide receivers who I think they're going to have a hard time again covering. Talking about Emeka and Jeremiah, you know, those guys had remarkable games. You know, Jeremiah had 6 for 103, a couple of touchdowns. Ibuka had 5 for like 80, you know, in that game. So they don't have a lot of big DBs. If I'm Ohio State, I'm challenging them early and often in this game on the outside. Period.
So knowing that, how do you think? Well, if you were, let's say you were going up against, you were Oregon, how would you defend Ohio State? What do you think Oregon will try to do to slow down Ohio State?
Oh, it's a good question because I mean their tallest defensive back is 5'11".
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see how they decide to obviously match up on the outside. They're going to play man coverage from time to time, dude. I am of the mindset. I said this with you today on our UCSS show. It's like, if I'm Oregon, I'm bringing pressure. You know, what's his face? Uyunglele, right? The first game didn't have a sack, right?
I don't recall. Let me go look for you real quick.
Excuse me.
Is that a fact?
He had 1 sack in that game.
I was about to say, I feel like,
but that was the only sack by either team, by the
way. Is that a fact? Let me see. Yeah, we had no. Well, I knew we didn't have no sacks. I already knew that. And yeah.
So my point in saying that is, you know, this dude was second in the conference with 10.5 on the season. So I'm trying to unleash that guy and some of the other, you know, linebackers, some other pass rushers. And by the way, I mean, I think Ohio State should do the same thing to Dylan Gabriel.
They got to do something. If they're going to, you can't stand there and let that man just hold the ball.
No, he's too good and he's too experienced. You know, this is the 63rd career start, college start, dude, for Dylan Gabriel.
It's ridiculous.
63.
Yeah, they got to do something.
How many games did you play? Sorry. How many games did you play in college?
Let's see. I redshirted as a freshman, so my sophomore year I played. We played 14 games. Played 12 to 14. The year after that, we played 15, 29, and then 13, 20. Dang, I played 42 games. 42.
Yeah, I played 47.
42 games.
Not started. No, I started darn near every game. after I started 2 as a freshman, and then every game after. But like, I mean, 63 starts in college football at a quarterback position. I mean, this dude should be out there like just like he is. I mean, they're 13-0, the number 1 team in the country, and he makes it look easy.
I pray that this is the last of the COVID year, people, because it's ridiculous that this is still a thing.
God bless them, man. These kids got free school, and they're leaving college. You know, every kid's a doctor or a lawyer.
I'm not mad at that. And they got money in their pocket. Shoot, they winning. Ain't no telling what his NFL career be. But I tell you what, he's in a much better place than the average cat. I tell you that. But yeah, I think that if I was Oregon, I'm not even about to play around with Jeremiah like that. Like, I'm not even the single coverage thing. I'm not doing that. We're not even about to play that game. I know that they got I think his name is Jabbar Muhammad. I think his name is. They scrappy corner. He actually is tied for first place in the conference with I think got like 11 PBUs or something like that. So he's a scrappy guy. But you're right. They're all short. So I'm not. I know what he's gonna say, Dustin. I've been in that situation where I'm gonna go in there like, I got him one-on-one. And it's funny because I was looking at a clip. Somebody posted a clip yesterday on Twitter, and they had showed like Jeremiah running right past this man. And what happened was Will Howard underthrew the ball. If he would have threw it on time, it probably would have been a way bigger play. But he underthrew the ball, and I'm like, yeah, if I would see that clip and I'm like, we're not doing that. I'm doubling Jeremiah and we're going to live out the rest. I'm definitely sending some blitzes. I'm definitely doing some twists and some stunts to try to confuse that offensive line and see if I can get home. Now, on the flip side, I think that's what we need to do as well. It was so vanilla the first time we played them. If you think about the first time we played them, we was coming off of games where we were sending just 4 guys. It was just the 4 D linemen and they were getting home. And I think what happened is we went into that game with a false confidence about how good our D line actually is. And obviously after that game, you know, Ryan Day went back down there. They simplified the defense. They started doing more twists, started sending blitzes. And I tell you what, I was watching some of the games that they played, like the Indiana game. Like, they smothered like the quarterback, like the blitz patterns and the things that Jim knows has dialed up, and some of those twists. Like, it's really been effective. And the thing is, it has to be effective in this game. Like, it's been good all the way up until this game. It has to show up in this game because, to me, that's the difference maker. Everybody points to the secondary, you know, talk about IGB and Denzel Burke, but you got to help those guys out. Like, listen, Tez Johnson is for real. Like, the dude's fast, and it is what it is. Evan Stewart's a really good player. Trayshawn Holden has been a good player. So, like, they got some weapons there. The way you help that secondary out, obviously you could do some things in the back end, you know, drop a Robert, you know, drop a whole player or something like that to cut something on them over routes for like Tez Johnson or things like that. But what really helps is the pass rush. And if that pass rush gets home and they get their hands up on and knock the ball down like they did, if they can do it against a 6'6" Nico, then they should be able to do it against a 5'10" Dylan Gabriel. Like, it should be almost like stealing. And I'm not saying that they got to do it every play, but I tell you what, those 2, 3, maybe 4 times you do it over the course of a game, it could really be the difference of a game because somebody could be beat. But if that D lineman matches that quarterback's hand and knock it down, obviously you don't see the big play happen. So to me, it's a lot. I'm putting a lot on Jack and JT. Listen, they've been sitting around for 4 years anyways. They've had moments where they've had some good games, but it ain't never been consistent. They overdue for a big time moment. Jack Sawyer kind of got robbed by his in the team up north game, but they do for some big time moments. So why not now? This is the best time to make it happen.
It's so great though that for these kids, and you mentioned Jack Sawyer, who I have tons of respect for. I think is just a tremendous Buckeye and a great player. Like, these guys get a chance to go back at it. I mean, it's something that matters. I mean, obviously the Michigan loss sucks. It feels a little better today, I guess, because Michigan beat Alabama in this bowl game. Yeah. A little better. I mean, it doesn't feel much. Not much better, but
it does nothing for me. Does nothing for me.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, Michigan's got a legit defense and that whole thing. But no, yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun game. I'm super excited about this game. I'll be watching this game, by the way, in the Bahamas.
Must be nice. But this is the thing. It is a lot of pressure on Ohio State for this game because I was thinking about this. This senior class, the Jacks, the JTs, the Meccas, all those guys that's leaving after this season, like if they don't win a championship, they could potentially go down as one of the worst the most overrated recruiting class. So I don't want that to happen to them. Like think about this, and this is far removed, but like imagine them after they go to the NFL and they do their thing and blah blah blah. Like when they start a family and they have kids. Like you're able to do this. You bring them back to the Woody Hayes Athletic Center and you go right up to the championship and go, look, or you go to the team up north and go, see, look, you go to all the bowl games and be like, look, we got that trophy and all those things. For this class that's coming up, they have one Rose Bowl win. That's it. Just one Rose Bowl win. And that, like, to me, like that's not enough. Like there's no way you've been here for 4 years, and the only thing you have to show for is one Rose Bowl win. So, like, why come back and when you have kids and you bring them back, what are you going to say to them? Daddy was 0-4, like that. No, like you don't want to do that. So it's so much pressure. It's bigger than they actually even think right now. Like to think like it's a chance that they can come out and go out here and potentially lose, which I don't think they will. Potentially lose this game and then like have nothing to show for 4 years but a Rose Bowl win against Utah. Like that's sad to me. So they gotta win. They have no choice but to win it all. I'm telling you, Dustin, they have no choice but to win it all, in my personal opinion.
Well, I predict that they're going to do that, and it starts with this game on New Year's Day.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say about the coaching staff? Because somebody pointed out to me, anytime that our defense goes up against a talented opponent, they say the talent is equal. So Ohio State and Oregon's talent is equal. They say that our defense struggle. You think of Georgia, you think of Wolverines, you think of who else did we play? To Oregon. You think about those type of games, they've always, except for this past team up north game, they've put up great stats. Does that concern you, or do you think that they truly got it fixed?
I don't know if they have it fixed, but I think that at least from a psychological standpoint, they have it fixed. You're there's something about playing them dudes from up north, man. It's with this team, right? And hopefully they get over it next year, assuming Ryan Day's back. But it's over now. Like, just move on. You know what I mean? Just look, it's gone. We're playing this season. It's an opportunity here to. I mean, at the start of this season, the goal was to get here and to be in this position where you win this game tomorrow night. You're going to be in the college football semifinals, most likely playing a Texas team or an Arizona State team, and you will then have a chance to go play for the Natty. And I don't know that anybody would have predicted that an hour after that loss to the Wolverines. So I think we should be pretty happy where we're at. And honestly, the fact that people are picking us, I'm picking the Buckeyes. I think they're more talented than Oregon. I felt the same way when they played them back in September, or was it October, whenever that game was. October. Thank you. I feel just as confident then as I do now in Ohio State's ability to win the game, and this game is not at their place.
I just feel like that Oregon's overdue. I know they've had some close calls, Idaho, Boise State, Wisconsin. I know they've had some close calls. I feel like they just kind of overdue for like that adversity that where they got to figure out a way to win, like that type of thing. And I don't know how much they've really been tested like that. I mean, like I said, I've watched them this year and they've kind of breezed by a lot of games. and I know the Boise State, and I know the Idaho, but that was still when they were figuring things out. The Wisconsin one was shocking because what Wisconsin was doing was they were winning on third down and they was winning in the red zone. That was the thing. When Oregon got to the red zone, they made them. So
excuse me.
Obviously, that's going to be big for Ohio State. Actually, the first time we played them, that was the thing that I pointed out. Like, these two teams was like money in the red zone. Like, Ohio State was like 98% or something like that in scoring touchdowns, and Oregon was like 89 or 87% or something like that. So the red zone for both of these teams is going to be huge, but I think third downs is going to be most important. And I think that it's going to be on the quarterbacks. I think both quarterbacks at some point will have to use their mobility to pick up some first down and keep the chains moving. Obviously, if that's the case, that would probably favor Dylan Gabriel because he's made some very explosive plays. But I don't know, man. It's an even matchup to me. But I think that it's going to come down to this: both secondaries and both lines. I don't care what nobody says. To me, and I truly think that they should run the ball. I do think we should run the ball. Those are my X factors, the running backs, because nobody's talking about it. Everybody knows that both teams can sling the ball, and I think both teams is going to be ready for that. But what team is going to be able to run the ball the best way and the most effective? And I think that's the good news of having Quinshawn and Travion, because you got a 1-2 punch that can get it done, opposed to, well, I guess they got two too. Jordan James and Noah is that dude. Listen, that little dude, he be running hard. He run down. You may get your pants down. So yeah, this is gonna be a really good game. I do got the Buckeyes winning by 10 plus though. I got them 2 scores.
By 10 plus, huh?
2 scores. I got the Buckeyes winning by 2 scores. And this is the thing, Dustin. I've already talked trash because I know Kenyon Barner for working with them in the Big Ten. Him and I have been going back and forth. I'm so deep into the trash talking, like they have no choice but to win. I didn't talk crazy. So like they have to win this game for my sake, or I might like go in the closet and not come out or something like that.
Hey, let me ask you a question about a game that is being played tonight, and that is Penn State playing Boise State in the quarters. Doesn't seem like many people are giving Boise State a chance against Penn State. Spread's 11.5, 12 points.
Yeah.
It's actually 12.5. I see it right now. Penn State favored by 12.5 points.
I don't think it's gonna go like that.
Man, this is a Boise team, unless I'm missing something, a Boise team that has pretty much handled everybody this year, except for Oregon, where they lost by 3 points.
Yeah, if I was laying some money down on that, I'd definitely take Boise plus the points. Listen, I think what it is I think that everybody's seen Drew Aller, take that next step these past couple of games, the Big Ten championship game, and then obviously against SMU. He's looked really well. And those running backs obviously have played a huge factor in it as well. So I think that the reason that nobody respects Boise is because all you know is Ashton Jeanty. You know nobody else on that team but Ashton Jeanty. And
I do this for a living, as do you. I don't know a ton of the players on Boise.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but I'm saying I talk about these guys, not the Boise State, but I mean, we talk about college football. We live in our worlds, and Boise's not really in our world. So
that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I think that's so when you think about Penn State. Penn State's known for their defense for years. They've known for linebackers and edge rushers. So people think in their head like they're not going to be able to run the ball. So when Penn State stops the run, what is Boise State going to do? Who's that next player? And the problem with a lot of people is nobody knows. Because all you know is Ashton Jeanty. So I think that's why the spread is what it is.
Cam Camper?
Who is that?
It's their leading receiver.
How many yards?
Cameron Camper, 837 yards, 55 catches, 4 tutties.
That's respectable.
Totally is. And their second leading receivers are tight ends, got 44 catches for 550 and 6 touchdowns.
See, but none of that scares you. None of that really, like, at the end of the day, when it all boils down to it, the number one thing that's the most important is the quarterback play. And obviously the upper hand of that goes to Penn State because of Drew Aller. So I think that also is a reason. Like when you think about, that's why this game, this Rose Bowl game is so good, because you got two quarterbacks that's playing at a great level. Will Howard has really stepped his game up from first game to where he is now. I mean, that man is lights out. He's definitely gonna have to be locked in to go up against, Dylan Gabriel. But like that's what makes this game so good, because the quarterback play has been so phenomenal from both of these guys. You got one quarterback that doesn't make mistakes at all, and then you got another quarterback that learned as of lately hasn't really made mistakes. That last one against Tennessee was baloney. that pick against Tennessee was baloney, but like he's really done a great job, and he's improved on his deep ball. So yeah, it should be. I hope it don't turn into like a shootout. I know a lot of people hope it does because that makes the game exciting. I don't really want to sit there and watch a 56-49 type game. Like I want it to be like an old school. Give me 35-24 or something like that. I'm cool with that.
I was looking back at Penn State's regular season and seeing who they struggled with this year. I kind of forgot. I mean, obviously you work for Big Ten Network, so you're watching some of these games more closely than I am. Like Minnesota almost beat them.
Sure did. They had to go for fourth down. They had to go on fourth down like 2 times on one series just to end the game because they didn't even want them to get the ball back. Yeah.
So that was a tough one. They had I remember like early in the year. Yeah, man, they struggled with Bowling Green early in the year.
And you know what? I was at that game. We did the tailgate show from there that game. And I remember, so that was a game where I did the show and I had to like run to the airport to get on the plane because my plane was immediately as soon as we got off. So I land
overtime with Southern Cal too. Tell me Bowling Green story. I'm sorry.
I land on the plane. Like I land in my first stop, which was I think was Chicago. And I was like, the score is what? Yeah, so that one was weird, but they bounced back from that one. They bounced back.
Yeah, they did. They nearly lost to Southern California in overtime.
Yeah, that was a shootout. That was USC's downfall. After that, they just kind of went.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, they nonetheless they're here, and because we could do the same thing for Boise. They could be like, oh, Boise barely beat Wyoming, who won like 3 games this year. Okay. Well, did they win the game? Yeah, they won the game.
All right. So give me your final score, Rose Bowl score prediction.
Rose Bowl. I'm not sure.
You're pretty good with these.
Oh, that's so sweet of you to say. I'm just looking at one thing. I think it's gonna be close, dude. It's so crazy too. Is like I could see Ohio State
10 points or better.
The spread's 2.5 points. I could truly see Ohio State winning this game and not covering the spread.
10 or better. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Oh, listen. I would love it to be by 10 or better. I do not see that. But I'm gonna say Ohio State 24. No, 25. 25-24.
I'm going. Listen, first of all, let me put this out there first. If we get the same Ohio State team that we seen against Tennessee, they will win by 2 scores or better. So I'm gonna give you that. That score will be 42-31. That'll be that score. 42-30. If we don't get that team, from Tennessee that we see against Tennessee, the score would be 35-31.
35-31.
Buckeyes cover both ways, both games. Bam. How about that? And I can't
I'll take
wait.
it.
I can't wait. Well, that's a wrap for us.
It's a wrap for 2024.
Yes, everybody enjoy y'all New Year's. Have a wonderful New Year's Day of celebration. We made it another year. Make sure y'all stick to your resolution. Y'all gonna make one. Make sure you stick with it. And yeah, we'll see y'all after another Buckeye dub. Peace.